Good morning, it's Ginny and Tim in Escanaba, Michigan at DS Tech, and we're going to talk about a personal data breach. I mean, it's like lots of personal data, social security numbers.
Another day, another leak, right?
Another day, another leak. And Tim and I were just talking before we came on live to let you know that all of these different breaches add up.
Yep.
Like we were saying, you know, they got your social security number from this leak. They got your name and where you live from this leak, you know, just all kinds of stuff that adds up over time. So they get more and more data. But before we do that, go to dstech.net, sign up for our newsletter, and drop the word assessment, and I'll get you a free security assessment. I'll just send you the link. So, what are we talking about? We got another breach.
So, another data breach, another leak, whatever. You see these all the time, but I also wanted to kind of demystify the news because the news is running the headlines. 3 billion with a B records, 3 billion social security numbers, and it's like there's not 3 billion people in the United States that uses SS. So anyway, I'm going to go into that a little bit. So there was a big data breach again where someone was originally trying to sell it for money on the forums, and eventually they just wanted clout. So like, I'll give you all the data for free. So they just released all this data. It's from a company called National Public Data Records. And so what this company actually does is they build profiles of people through buying, their various, I guess you'd say, advertiser profiles from social media, selling it to marketers. Sometimes you go to those websites where you like look up a person and you're trying to and then by the end of it, you have to pay to get the record. So it's a company that does like the back end API work for a lot of those other
the one where that
companies.
Goes like email, phone number, criminal records.
Yeah, like kind of a lot of that stuff. They just compile data for all of those different websites and some other information for the government and whatnot too. And so it was 2.9 billion records were leaked. However, when you're actually going through the leaked records, it's not like there's 2.9 billion unique social security numbers. For an example I saw was they had 10 line items and every single one was the exact same with just one number. So I would probably reduce that by an entire factor, right? So instead of 3 billion, it's probably closer to 300 million, which is still a heck of, that's like almost the entire U.S.'s social security numbers too, though, if you think about that. So that's still a lot to deal with, but it's not 3 billion records. It's a lot of duplicate data and things like that. And then when you're looking at this, but what Ginny was touching on, what's important about it is if this simply just had your name and your social security number and that's all that was leaked, there's not really a whole lot someone can really do with just those two pieces of data.
Not as bad as you think.
Yep. But then what happens is over the course of time, there's multiple leaks, right?
Yeah.
There might be one leak where they have your name and your address, one leak where they have your name and your phone number, one leak where they have your name and where you work. I don't know. So they can build like a profile of you by using multiple leaks, and then now all of a sudden they have your phone number, your address, your social security number, all this information, and now it's actually time where they might try to impersonate you or open an account in your name, things like that. So that's just where as time goes on with more and more leaks happening, it's just more and more important to be vigilant about your data, who's using your data, and if any accounts are being made in your name. It can be kind of annoying to do so, but honestly, the best way to really protect yourself is just to put freezes on all your credits, so you can't have any sort of new lines be opened in your name unless you unfreeze your account. So it's almost like having an MFA on your credit, right? It's like, I can't do credit unless I do these extra steps, and it slows you down to do the extra steps, but then it prevents them from trying to,
I should have written them down, but there's 3 major credit bureaus that you're supposed to go to freeze your accounts. Yep. Make an account with each one. Use a different password for each one.
We talked in the phishing episodes. You want to use a unique password for every account, yes.
Yep, and put a freeze on it. And I know because I just did this. So put a freeze on your account. Then nobody.
And then if you're going to go in to get a loan or you're going to do whatever it is, then you simply got to go in, unfreeze your account, do your transaction, and then refreeze it when you're done. Yeah. It's the best thing to do. It's kind of annoying, but honestly, nowadays with so much data out there, it's pretty much a given someone's going to have your social security number somewhere. Because there's so many data leaks, so many things. Unless you literally live off the grid and you have no social media and you never interact online, maybe you don't have to worry about it as much. But realistically,
if you don't have a social security number, I don't. Yeah, would you even be watching this?
Yes, yeah, I don't know, but that's just don't fret about it. The reason I want to do is just to kind of demystify it. It's not 3 billion records like the news is touting right now. It's probably closer to really about 300 million unique, which is still a lot. It's still a big data leak. But the idea is that multiple data leaks over time, people can compile profiles of you, and then that's where they'll start using, opening lines of credit, whatever it is, and trying to impersonate you for various fraud purposes. So.
And in the latest phishing attempt on me, I asked you guys. And the first thing Josh asked was if I had credit monitoring. So that's
There's
another
credit
thing.
monitoring services. Well, they'll
Yeah.
notify you if like a new account is opened in your name, but then that's reactionary. I look at that as you're still gonna have to go back,
Yeah.
fight it, close it. It can be a big pain in the butt. So what I like to do is just shut it off.
Yep.
Freeze everything until you
Yep.
it's more annoying. It's more work, right? But
Yeah.
then when you get the alert, the monitoring, I hate to say it, you're reacting to something
You're
that's already
probably too
happened
late.
and it's too late. They're already
Yeah.
doing stuff, but still you can reverse that. It's still good to have credit monitoring. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that's not
Nope.
good, but you're reacting to something that's already happened at that point, then preventing it from happening in the first place.
I did take the extra step. So
Yeah.
so do that. And then if you're a business, you're going to get phishing attempts a lot on your
All the time.
employees. So make sure they have
Yes.
training.
Yes, security awareness training is definitely very important. So that way, it's not just when you first start your business, you go through this training, onboarding, whatever, and then you forget about it. But having continuous training where once a year you remind your staff, or even more than that, where you have meetings to remind them, don't click the links, don't fall for phishing, try not to post, personal stuff too much online. It's just the typical stuff that we, as living in this space, are kind of become aware of. That sometimes the new staff don't really think about that in the whole what they're putting out there might not be good or things like that too. So just
And
having
your
the training is
younger
good.
new staff are eager to please. So
Yes, they want to be, I'll just do this because they want the data or whatever it is. And they're trying to,
yeah,
usually it's like good intentions, but that has a bad outcome.
Yeah,
So it
so-
can happen.
the training is important.
Yep.
But where I was going with that was make sure you drop the word assessment, and I'll get you that free security assessment too. So
Oh, yes. So yeah,
is that it?
that's about it. Just another data leak. I just wanted to put that
Yeah.
out there and remind everyone of the importance of, be aware of the accounts you have. It also could be, shut the accounts down you're not using anymore. If for some
Oh,
reason
yeah.
you're not using, say, Instagram or
Yep.
Facebook or whatever social media site it is, actually take the time to deactivate the account and shut it off, because you have these, accounts that are out there. If someone ever gets your account password, maybe you don't use it anymore, but now they're using it as like a bot page or doing something else with it too. So just being aware of all your accounts that are out there
That's a good
and,
point.
and shutting them down when they're not being used anymore
I should do
is
that.
important as well.
I did that here at work
For all your work ones. Yep.
because Keeper told me to.
Yep.
But I should do
It's
that.
like,
at
do you ever
home.
log into this portal anymore? It's been over a year and you haven't used it. Yeah, I never use that anymore. Yep.
Yeah, so
Actually deactivate it. Don't just
deactivate
like
it.
leave it lingering out there, because that's an account that's already started now. If someone were to get into that, they
It's
can start
kind of a
using it for.
hole, right?
Yep, exactly. So
Okay. Good information. Thank you so much, Tim.
you're welcome.
We'll see you next time. Drop assessment and go to our website. Sign up for our newsletter.
Yep.
Make it a great day.